So there's something that I'm concerned about that's happening right now in the next stage of turning this into a white Christian nation. And that's the stage that we're at compared to Hungary when Orban was able to take over, take control, and now nobody can seem to unelect him, even though he's wildly unpopular over there. And that's what's happening with the unaliving of Charlie Kirk by Donald Trump, Fox News, Steve Miller, and all the rest of them. Not just blaming leftists, but demonizing us, demonizing left-leaning ideology, using all sorts of different terms. They're repeating it aggressively. They're coming just shy of saying we need to be removed from this country. We're all hearing it. And when you look at the chronological events in Hungary and how they were able to dismantle their democracy and turn it into basically a dictatorship, we're at the stage where Hungary demonized George Soros. They made him the scapegoat. They made up so many fantastical lies about George Soros as the bad guy. And they attached him to another group of people that they demonized, immigrants. They said that George Soros was going to just allow dangerous immigrants to flow into the country where they would lose their culture, they'd be raped, they'd be unalived. They got everybody so full of anxiety about that. And then all of a sudden, once the anxieties were high, they had Orban's picture all over billboards everywhere. They had him all over the news and his folks talking about it, just the way everybody's talking about the leftists today on the news by the right. Orban also had his millionaire and billionaire Christian white nationalists buying up all the news media and shutting down independent media and quieting their dissenters during this same time. When everybody's scared, you'd be surprised as how unhinged and irrational people get. And he was able to fully gain power and keep it to this day. And my fear is that they're using leftists after this unfortunate murder of Charlie Kirk to accomplish the exact same thing, regardless of facts, regardless of truth. They already had their folks buy a bunch of media, so it's being pushed everywhere. Let me tell you something about George Soros. He was the enemy of the right wing because George Soros, unbeknownst to a lot of people, spent his millions and millions of his billions to fight authoritarian regimes, to fight communism. He fought for democracies. So when there were groups and movements trying to save the democracies in their countries, he funneled them money. He supported them financially. He was actually a good guy, but you would never know it, even from the QAnon conspiracies where they painted him as a bad guy here. I'm afraid that this is where we're at, but I do want to leave everybody with this. We are not Hungary back in the day before they figured out Orban's and his party's manipulations. We're not back in the day where QAnon was taking root and we thought it was just a nothing burger, just a bunch of fringe. We have a big voice today. We have a big platform. We have tens of millions of us. And as long as we keep communicating and sharing facts, find our voice, don't be afraid to use your voice, we're going to be okay. Because I'll tell you, the one thing that they accomplished over in Hungary at that time was they quieted their dissenters. They shut down the media that was trying to share the truth. We aren't quite there yet. They are trying with getting people afraid to speak up, or they'll get fired or kicked out of school. But I tell you, when there's millions of us fighting for this democracy and sharing facts, it's going to be very, very hard to silence us. And we do have a lot of independent media that's still alive and kicking and thriving and doing a great job. Share their content as well.